We gotta hide what we're doing, 'cause what would they say if they ever knew? And so we're riding just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. When you put your arms around me as we tumble to the ground, and then you say, I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. So we're running just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. Then you put your arms around me as we tumble to the ground, and then you say, I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. Look at the way we gotta hide what you're doing, 'cause what would they say if they ever knew? And so we're running just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. Then you put your arms around me as we tumble to the ground, and then you say, I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound.
Turn up your radio and tune in that dial. Bill Hart on your radio, you know he's guaranteed to make you smile.
Ahoo! Well, thank you, Diane, for inviting me again to do the Lanky Beat show here at Hospital Radio Wrightington. We're here for you from the boardroom to the boiler room. How about that? And everything
Sounds
in
good.
between. How about that? For you good people out there and across the seas of the world, because we're now absolutely worldwide, as in World Wide Web, aren't we? That's a fantastic progress that has been made here at Hospital Radio Wrightington. It comes to my attention sometimes that when we talk about Lanky Beat, the Lanky Beat show, Lanky cats and things like that, a lot of confusion seems to occur, and because of the two words and the two names are very, very similar. But I think if I go back and do a little bit of history for you, it might kind of clear one or two things up. It's just about 4 years now, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I was sat at home with pulling out the old pictures from my old band, the Shims from Wigan, and I've got quite a few of the old pictures and stuff like that, and I was fiddling about with a brand new computer that I didn't know much about, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be great if I could do what these other people do and put stuff up on web pages and websites and things like that. So I did a little bit of investigation, and finally I found something that could really found easy to use, and I could upload my photographs and stuff like that. So I put them on, and I had to give it a name, and I thought I could have given a name Wigan Beat, couldn't I? But it didn't sound kind of what's the word, broad enough, breadth the board. I wanted it something bigger, and I think Lancashire was also very, very underrepresented when it comes to rock and roll music, particularly that era from mid-50s to mid-70s, 20 years. We certainly knew what was going on in Liverpool, and everybody knew what was going on in Manchester. but nobody knew there was anything at all going on in Lancashire itself, which included the towns like Wigan, Blackpool, Blackburn, Bolton, Southport, you name it, all around the county, a massive county that we've got. And there are bound to be a lot of bands out there who just are quite unknown, but were there doing it just like they were in Liverpool and in Manchester. So that was my idea. And I got in touch with one or two people like Mitch from Ipso Facto and Roy Davis, God bless him. I got in touch with him. And they started sending me their band pics. And I started put them on. Well, it went ballistic. It absolutely, I couldn't believe it how well it gone. Now there are over 350 bands on there, and I'm sure I've not got them all just yet. So that's what happened there. And of course I called it Lanky Beat in with cap-doffing respect to Mersey Beat. And Bill Harry, who coined the phrase Mersey Beat with his Mersey Beat magazine that used to come out every week in the early 60s, was a big pal of John Lennon and Stuart Sutcliffe. They formed the Beatles originally. So, and I got in touch with Bill, and were quite in touch with each other. And he was quite honoured that we named Lanky Beat after his idea of Mersey Beat. So that's how that came together. Now, all these bands that I got material, pictures and stories about, I started then to put the word out, or rather the word got out, that some of the bands were reforming. Some of the musicians had dusted off their guitars and drum kits and had started playing in the back of the garage again. They'd not touched the drums for 40, 50 years, some of them. So anyway, they started getting in touch with us. We could do with somewhere to kind of play, you know. So what comes next? Lanky Cats. It was obvious. It was a progression of Lanky Beat moving into Lanky Cats. And that's what we've done now for the last 4 years, Diane, haven't we? We've made it very successful down there, haven't we? And I say that in the big term we, because Diane has been absolutely key to getting the sound right in a very dodgy area called the Live Lounge at the Standish Unity Club. Give us some idea what it was like when you walked in that night, Diane.
The very first night I came there was about, you've been going 6 months, so it would have been about 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I walked in and they had several bands on. Parent Flamingos was on, Paul Hayes, and I put earplugs in, it was hurting my ears, so I didn't really get involved straight away. I just like, it sounds terrible, this.
Yeah.
But anyway, Anita told people, well, Diane works at the BBC type thing, she produces shows there, she's sound engineer. Next thing, they had a meeting and they got me on board, didn't you?
Yeah. Best thing Lanky Cats ever did.
Well, I invited you in here to have a chat about it, didn't
And
I?
then, yes, I came into Hospital Radio Wrightington all about the same time, and we developed this camaraderie and friendship that's brought us here today, hasn't it?
It worked well, didn't it?
And from 4 years ago, when Hospital Radio Wrightington was in another building and that building was condemned, yes, you had to then start to think very seriously about whether there was going to be any hospital radio and a future for it.
That was exactly 3 years ago we closed down in the other building.
Yeah.
Because a lot of safety concerns in there. And 2.5 years ago, we started here.
That's it. Fantastic. So I hope that clears a little bit up for you. Just give you some website rundowns. Lanky Beat, Lanky, don't forget the K, beat.com. The other one, Lanky Cats, which is the live music version, I suppose you could call it. And that's what we've got down there. Lanky, Lanky, Cats with a Kats.com.
And that's
So-
one word, isn't it?
And it's one word, but most words on in www dots are all one word, aren't they?
Wibbly
anyway?
wobbly web, it stands for.
Yeah, and I mean, the same for, let's give you the other one while we're at it, give you all three together, right in the Hospital Radio, Diane.
It's www.hospitalradiorigington.co.uk.
Fantastic. I think we should have some music.
Go on then, you've talked me into it.
Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't love me no more. Every time I call you on the phone, some fella tells me that you're not at home. Unchain my heart, set me free. Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't love me no more. You got me sewn up like a pillowcase, but you let my love go to waste. Unchain my heart, set me free. I'm under your spell, just like a man in a trance. But you know darn well that I don't stand a chance. Unchain my heart, let me go my way. Unchain my heart, you worry me night and day. I lead you through a life of misery, but you don't give a bag of beans for me. Unchain my heart, set me free. I'm under your spell, just like a man in a trance. But you know darn well that I don't stand a chance. Unchain my heart, let me go my way. Unchain my heart, you worry me night and day. I'll lead you through a life of misery, but you don't give a bag of beans for me. Unchain my heart, set me free.
heroes of Wrightington and Wigan hospitals, playing the best of yesterday and today, 24 hours a day. This is your station, Wrightington Hospital Radio.
Wow. Still standing. Unchain My Heart, made famous, I think, by Joe Cocker and many others. I think that's...
Dean Parrish had a hit with that as well. He's done it.
Yep. Who's that? What's...
Dean Parrish, one of the Northern Soul singers.
All right, yeah. Very popular soul song, that, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
Absolutely magic. And I love hearing Joe Cocker's version, but Unchained My Heart by Still Standing. What about that guitar work?
Pretty good, isn't it?
That's pretty good, that, eh? We've got some talent here in Lancashire, you know, haven't we, eh? These guys, underrated, live and work and play around the Liverpool Ormskirk area type of Southport, you know, that kind of area. And these are the unsung heroes of the Liverpool scene. And they came through it and they watched everybody else trying to become famous and becoming famous. And they're sat there with their kind of watching it all, but very good players themselves. And here they are, 50 years on, still doing it. I mean, and that kind of stuff is...
fantastic, isn't it?
So, and we're lucky to have them at Lanky Cats
Yeah.
now and again. And I'm lucky even still because I get to play drums behind these guys every so often, especially when they come up to Lanky Cats. They like my particular drumming and I like their particular style of rock music.
You like the old drumming, you, because you play it loud, don't you? You give them a real smack.
I'm a smacky drummer, am I?
Yeah, compared to some of the modern bands who tap them.
I've had some criticism of being a bit too
No,
over
Gary,
the top.
get in there and do it proper.
I know. I don't tap.
You
know,
don't tittle drums, you
I'm
play
not
'em.
a tapper, you know. I remember seeing a picture of one of the bands on the Lanky Beat site. One of them, I can't think of the name of the band, and he actually installed a bib tap. I don't know if you know what that is. A tap on the side of his tom-tom. Then everyone could see because he was accused of tapping his drums, which
Right.
is silly, really. When you think, very silly. We don't go in for that kind of silly
No.
stuff, do we?
Definitely not.
Anyway, meanwhile, we're waiting of Dave Berlinger. He's going to get in touch with us in a short while, and Dave Berlinger is from the 6th generation, and we've heard quite a bit on Hospital Radio Wrightington of the 6th generation, and their excellent songwriting skills and excellent performances of those brand new songs that they've written themselves, particularly Ron and one or two of the other boys. Now then, they have a CD, and the CD contains obviously their material and other material covers as well. Listen to this one. This is Runaway.
As I walk along, I wonder what went wrong with our love, the love that was so strong.
We're the sixth generation, and we
love Lanky Land.
Hello, David Llewellynga.
Hey, Bill, good to hear your voice.
No, wow, fantastic! Is this again? We are so close yet so far.
Oh well, I tell you, it's been way too long.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, Dave. So, what's happening at your end at the moment?
Right at this moment, we are back in the studio. We're going to be recording we've got to start on 5 songs, might throw a 6th one in for our new EP that probably won't be out until after the first of the year, but we're working hard.
Yeah. I believe there's between 5 and 8 tracks, is that right?
You know, I know that some of the guys are pushing for more, and I'm pushing for less. So it'll be somewhere in that 5, I would think 5 to 6 range.
Yeah.
And they're going to be high quality. And then the rest of the songs that we'll be recording and working on, that'll be on our new CD, which hopefully, again, will be out by June of next year.
Fantastic. That's fantastic news. I mean, to gather so many songs together at the same time and get them all in there and getting them all recorded, there's a monster amount of work to be done. I don't know if you've ever been in a recording studio, notwithstanding the amount of thought and kind of creativity that goes behind the song and constructing the song before you actually get into the studio.
And you know what, and you're correct, and you're always going to look it up. I don't know how far it is away to Barcelona from your place, but you have to remember, we're 600 miles apart.
I know, which is hard to understand, isn't it? Let me see. Let me give you some comparison for you listeners here. We're in, let's say, in Middle England. North of England is about midway top of Scotland down to Land's End, and that should give you around about 600 miles. So it gives you some idea, some proportion of distances. And tell me where, for instance, where Ron lives.
Well, Ron is about an hour and 15 minutes south of me in Burke, Virginia.
Right.
So he and I get together often.
Yeah. Now, you are in Niles, Michigan.
No, I'm in Baltimore, Maryland.
See, I can't get this right. So, Baltimore, Maryland, and then your 2 states, you cross the state line to get to each other.
Yes, exactly. So it's Washington, D.C. is in between Baltimore and where Ron lives.
Right. Fantastic.
So if you just think it's a metro, the Washington, D.C. metroplex, Baltimore, Washington.
Right.
And then you go 600 miles west.
Yeah.
So you go through Maryland and Pennsylvania and Ohio and Indiana. Then you get to Michigan, and then that's where General lives.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. These kind of scales of distances and things like between you guys. And let's have a look at where Fred lives. Fred Holtz. Where does he live?
He lives in Grand Rapids. So that's another hour and 15 minutes north of where Paul lives.
Paul. Now, Paul Davis lives where?
In Niles.
Right. So, altogether, you're scattered, let me put it that way.
We are scattered, but we are finding ways in a high-tech nature. Ron sends out a song file that's got his vocal, and it's got a basic beat, so he's got it to a click track, so we know it's exactly the rhythm that he wants.
Yeah.
And then I'll sit downstairs and I'll develop a drum part to it.
Yeah.
And General and I have played together so long that I've got an idea of what his bass will be.
Yeah.
And then when we get into the studio, and we normally are not recording at the same time, but either he will listen to what I'm doing and make suggestions, or I'll listen to what he's doing. And it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I can't tell you and explain to you how much I enjoy going into the studio. And the first time I ever went in the studio was 2004 with my pal Jack and 2 other guys. We were in a band together called Something Catchy, and we used to be a cabaret band around the Northwest Circuit. And we enjoyed what we did, and we put a CD down to cover all the songs that we were playing in these clubs and places, and we enjoyed it. And I got the bug. And I don't know if you've got that bug as well, David.
Oh, has it got the bug?
The bug of
Yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's so addictive.
Well, and we had such success with our last. We were in the studio back probably in 2012.
Yeah.
Band got back together in 2011. So 2012, we were in the studio,
Yeah.
did a CD, and matter of fact, I'm a walking in the rain, tears are falling, I feel the pain.
Yay.
That was brilliant that you played that. That's one of my favorite songs. We still do that live today.
Yeah, yeah. And was it you lead vocal on that?
No, I'm the second vocal. Fred Bachman was singing lead.
Yeah.
And then I just sang the I'm a walking. So if you listen, there's 3 lead singers on that song.
Is that right? Yeah.
Fred sings the verse. I go I'm a walking in the rain, and then General comes in.
Yeah.
Wah 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 wonder, but it is beautiful falsetto.
Yeah. The general is of course Paul.
Paul, absolutely.
Yeah, gives you nicknames. You've all got a nickname, haven't you?
We do. Well, when we started the band, it was Paul Davies. He's called the General. And sometime when you and I are sitting down having a pint, I'll explain that. But it's not. But this is a family
Dave.
program.
I remember that, Dave. I'll tell him after.
And so he's the General. So he was Paul, and then Gio. When Gio joined the band, it was John, Paul. We needed a George, so he's Gio.
Yeah.
And then they called me Watermelon Head. So it was not very nice.
Watermelon Head, I like that one.
Yeah, oh yeah, well that's long gone. I'm now Big D, but so that's how Fred Holtz got his nickname of Gio or George.
Yeah.
Is because we wanted to have the same as the Beatles. And then I'm Big D, and then Ron's nickname. Are you ready?
Yeah, go on.
Do you have a pencil and paper?
A pencil and paper, yes, handy, yes.
You ready?
Yeah, go.
His name is Ron.
I'm gobsmacked.
He does not have a nickname.
Oh.
Ron is nicknamed Ron.
I'm gobsmacked.
So
everybody in a band has a nickname. Well, I'll tell you what. Shall we have a competition to find Ron a nickname?
You know what? We've looked around and nothing's ever stuck. So if you can find one, we'll run it by him.
Right. Okay. That's great. That's a promise. David, it's great.
Yeah. You know what, Bill? His hook is not having a nickname.
Ah, that's great. That's great. David, can you remember how we first got together and got to know each other?
I think I reached out to you on the internet through Lanky. Through your website, I believe, is the first time that you and I ever corresponded.
So you saw Lanky Beat and all the bands from Lancashire on there, and it caught your eye, as it were.
Yeah, it did, because, I've always, Talk Now as the band, we've always had a real fond spot in our heart for that area, the music that was produced, and really it was the scrapbook of our lives, out of the 60s and what came out of that whole area there. So when I saw you and saw what you were doing, I think I contacted you and I said, man, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think I asked if my band could be put up on your website, even though we weren't from Lankyland.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You're not from Lankyland, but you're very much in our hearts and minds, of course.
Oh,
what I've got to say, David, is that you've sent another kind of phenomenon across from the USA to the UK today.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about it. It's called Hurricane Abigail. And she's not very welcome here, I can tell you. She came right across today, and she's causing a little bit of problems here and there. But there you go. So I just thought you'd like to know that.
And you know what? Not every band you sent our way in the '60s was good, Bill. So it's kind of a push, isn't it?
Dave, that's great. We're going to bring you all back on the special Lanky Beat Christmas show. How about that? Aren't we? We're going to get together, all 4 of you, Diane, myself here at this end, and we're going to do a 1-hour show especially dedicated to the 6th generation.
And I tell you what, we are really excited. We just got to figure out a way to get it done because, again, we're going to be scattered. We won't be together until New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So we'll find a way to get it done. And I know when Ron's on a little bit of a holiday, when he gets back, we'll put that together.
We'll look forward to that, David. And thanks for calling in all the way from your place to our place.
Well, I tell you, Bill, we will never forget your hospitality, and Diane the same way. It was a remarkable trip in.
Yeah.
Then we played, I think, 8 or 10 times in 12 days, and we were busy.
Yeah. And you wowed a lot of people, and you made a lot of friends.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Pass our best along to everybody, and thank you for having me. Bye, Lanky Land.
Yeah, fantastic, David. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thinking back, it was happy chaos then, groovy times, yet the war would just not end. Wish and strife that the hippies loved all day, music flowed, still the man had final say. And the times kept on rolling by, and the songs kept us flying high. That was the time. That was life in a time when we were young, and the songs that we sang were such great fun. Hear the beat, we can dance away the night. There's no doubt music always made things right. And the times kept on rolling by, and the song kept us flying high. That was the time. And the times kept on rolling by, and the songs kept us flying high. That was the time. Now we're here. All the years have flown right by, but those times are so clearly on my mind. Like the song you can check out anytime, but you can't ever leave those times behind. And the times, they keep on rolling by, and the songs keep us flying high. That was the time. That was the time. That was the time. That was the time.
And this is the time to introduce the original Replica. Take it away.
Thank you.
Sweet for my sweet, sugar for my honey. Your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. I'll never ever let you go. Well, if you wanted a star that shines so brightly, to match the stardust in your eyes, darling, I would chase that bright sun nightly and try to steal it from the sky. And I would bring sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. Your first sweet kiss fills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. I'll never ever let you go. And if you wanted a dream to keep you smiling, I'd tell the Sandman you were blue, and I'd ask him to keep that Santa fighting until your dreams all come true. And I would bring sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. Your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. I'll never ever let you go. And if you wanted a love to last forever, then I would set my love away. And my love not only lasts forever, yeah, but forever and a day. And I would bring sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. Your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. I'll never ever let you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so impressed. 3 gentlemen here with me tonight, and of course with Diane. There's 5 of us squeezed in here. You wouldn't believe you could see it. If it was on TV, you would. You
They'd
say,
censor
how
it.
did they do it? How did they do it? I've got with me Liam. I've got with me Billy, and I've got with me Matt. They are representing tonight. And there's one absentee, but Matt will tell me in a minute who he is. And we'll just get into it and start to talk about the original Replica. Matt,
Yes.
what's the original Replica all about then?
So, it's a 50s and 60s rock and roll group, essentially. You know, we do all sorts from the early days, and we just love the sort of music that it is.
But what makes you so kind of interesting is the age that you are. How old are you, Matt?
So, like early 20s. So,
Yeah. I don't know there's many young people like in the early 20s doing much of that kind of 60s stuff, but such as the popularity of 60s stuff, and you've got hooked on it very early. Tell me how that happened.
Mainly through Liam, to be fair. You know, he's the one that instigated it all.
Did he?
With us, yeah.
He doesn't look capable, does he?
Well,
He's a bully.
you want to see him when he's not, you know, not in his professional mode.
Right.
He's an animal.
Right. Is he? Yeah, so you're just such a dynamic act as well. You don't just sing songs, you perform.
Yeah.
That is the trick of entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being looking good, sounding great, and moving.
Yeah.
Now, some bands kind of, don't do very much of that. And but you take very, very great care and pride in your performances, and you've obviously watched some of the Beatles videos, and the way they kind of, bow and stuff like that, and the stage presence is phenomenal when you look at some of the back, these things. And I know that you're emulating that and getting your act together, because you're an extremely professional act.
Oh, thanks.
You really are. Now then, I say extremely professional. You're not totally professional, are you?
Well, no, we do as much as we can, and we'll continue to do as much as we can always.
But you've got day jobs as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we all do bits and pieces,
Yeah.
But this is like our pride.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Billy, come in now. Come in, Bill.
Hello.
You come in, yeah. You take up the
pedestal.
the chair, yes, and get yourself comfortable, and we'll bring you in.
Hello, good evening
just-
and welcome.
Yes, hello, Billy. Now then, who's the one who's absent tonight?
It's young Phil.
Phil.
Yeah.
What does he do in the band?
He tries to look like Buddy Holly, really, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's his main job.
And he certainly carries it off,
He
doesn't
does.
he?
No, Phil is a great guitarist and lead and rhythm and vocals.
Yeah.
And he does all sorts of different songs. And the great thing is, like all the guys in the band, they're all easy to sing with.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a harmony singer. I can sing lead as well, but
Yeah.
with the harmonies, it's just
Yeah.
great to have people with nice voices you can sing with. So we've got the advantage over some bands. There's 4 lead singers.
Yep.
Which makes a big difference because
It's
you
a-
haven't got the same voice all the time.
Absolutely.
With all much respect to all those other bands.
You're a vocal-driven band, where most
Absolutely.
bands become guitar-driven, and there is a huge differences
Yeah,
in.
no,
I mean, for instance, a blues band like we had on the last show. The blues band was Dirty Hands. They pride themselves in heavy instrumental work,
Which is great.
and gravelly voices
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Here, when we heard that song just right, your voices are perfect for,
That's kind
for
of it.
Searchers
Great,
kind of
appreciate
stuff, isn't it? No problem.
That's what we
at
go
all.
for. It's about entertaining people.
Yeah.
That's why we dress the way we do and why we show some respect to the audience. If people have had the energy and the care to come out and view us, then the least we can do is have respect for them sitting there.
Yeah.
And to me, going on in jeans and t-shirts is not the way we want to do
Not
it.
you. You're not status quo. We don't
No.
pretend to be status quo. Jeans and t-shirts. That's it. But let others have their way of doing things. and
absolutely, each to their
God
own.
bless them all, because
Yes.
that's the way. That's rock and roll. You don't want to be too predictable. You want to kind of have something sparky and exciting.
You got it in
don't
one.
you? Yeah. Tell me about your exploits prior, because I know you're a fairly new member of the original
yeah.
Replica.
I got
Tell a
dragged
little
in.
bit about your earlier life, because you're a couple of years older than these guys.
One or
aren't you?
two, yeah. It's just subtle, you know.
Yeah,
there's
brother.
really, like
Yeah.
a cousin.
Yeah.
Long story. I've been playing drums for donkey's years. I can go back to the original cabin, the proper one.
Yep.
And I thought I'd tell you a quick story about the way I learned to play the drums. My dad was a bandmaster in the RAF. Played every instrument going: sax,
Yeah.
clarinet, banjo, guitar, ukulele. You name it, played it. The only thing he didn't play was the drums.
Yeah.
So I thought, rather than get lectured, I'll sit at the table and tap.
Yeah.
And I used to just sit at the table annoying my mother and tap. And then one day we met these guys where I lived who, if you didn't get to know them, you got chucked in a ditch or stung with sticking nettles. So rather than face that, I said, oh yeah, I used to be a drummer. And lo and behold, we go to a dance a few weeks later and the drummer was ill. So they all went, he plays drums.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a choice, I had to get up and play.
Fantastic.
2 weeks later I was at the cabin. So
Fantastic.
that was the way into it.
Fantastic story.
But I played with lots of bands. I played with a
Yeah.
Liverpool band called Elliot.
Yeah.
You've heard of Elliot from years ago, doing stylistics and Four Seasons music, great. And
So-
Waikiki with Brian Saxophone Jones, the
That's it.
legendary.
Fantastic. Yes,
now with
I've
this
met Brian. Yes, I've
Great
met him. Who hasn't?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
these guys are just fantastic. I met Liam through a little band from Warrington called Indian Summer.
Yeah.
And then when the previous drummer decided he'd go his own way, he said, could I help out? And it's just gone better and better.
Just gone
so-
better and better.
So it's just
Oh,
great.
cool. We're ready now to bring you in, Liam. Can we
good.
have? Thank you for that, Billy.
My
And
pleasure.
Your little historical kind of anecdotes there. That's all been very welcome.
Yeah.
Liam's trying to make his way to the throne here. Yes, here he
Good
is.
evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Nice of you to come here, all of you, of
Pleasure.
course. And Liam, what kind of things were in your head to get this little outfit going? What kind of, and how long ago was it? And tell me as much as you can about it.
Well, we've been going for about 3 years. haven't we? Yeah, 3 years now.
That's remarkable in itself.
Yeah.
The way you've gelled in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Matt met in school.
Yeah.
And we played together in school, didn't we?
Yeah, we did GCSE music together, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which we failed. failed miserably. No, but then we didn't speak for a few years. Did we?
No, we just went our own way, didn't we?
Went our own
Yeah.
way, but then
Yeah.
I was doing a charity event in town, in the middle of Warrington Town Centre.
Right.
Playing just acoustics. And Matt was walking through town with his girlfriend and he seen me. He didn't realise I was still playing guitar.
Yeah.
And he seen me. And we got back together again and we came up with the idea to start doing the
Yeah.
group.
And the original Replica is an astounding name for what you've actually done and your image and everything, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Whose idea was that? The image and everything.
That was
kind of my idea.
As your kind of, yeah.
Well, like
Yeah, yeah. And the other guys bought into that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, sillily.
I
Yeah.
had to buy them into it.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's very bossy as well.
Yeah. And then along came the Hofner guitars. How did that happen?
And that was because of Matt's doing that.
Yeah. Well, we did a little, just a local festival in Warrington Music Festival. It's a great little thing for aspiring musicians around. You know, there's a few that we've played with in the past, like Kim Jennett. She was one. But anyway, we got up and we started playing. We got some really good photos from it, and I thought I had a Hofner guitar at that point.
I did as well.
Oh, yeah, you
I
did
had
as
an
well,
old
didn't you? You had a 60s Hofner guitar, and I had a President bass. Anyway, I sent off a picture to Hofner via Facebook. They got in touch with me, and then it all went from there.
Yeah. Amazing. So the dress, the Hofner guitars, there's also there's some kind of sponsorship going on here as well, I believe. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. We get basically guitars from Hofner. You know, they give some guitars every now and again. They just ship them over, and we get some pictures.
So it just
If you're listening, Hoffer, we need one.
right.
So
right.
then we do photo shoots for them and advertise their guitars.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Exactly.
great.
And that's what it all turned out to be for such like as Paul McCartney with that little guitar he had that nobody had ever seen the likes of before.
Yeah.
That actually there's one here in the studio and Matt's got all of it. It's the Hofner violin bass, which is probably the most famous bass guitar ever on the planet. There's no question about it. And Paul McCartney, he made it famous, didn't he? There's no question about it. And a whole lot of other things have happened and since. How about another song, guys? Is that have you get you all sorted out here? Yeah, bear with us a little second. Diane squeezing her way back in. She's taking the headphones off me, and we're going to hit a second of the original Replica songs as soon as we possibly can. And is there a meanwhile here, Diane, do you think? A meanwhile? Have we got a meanwhile?
No, we can go straight into it.
We can go straight into it, right?
Yeah, with that good.
Okay, off you go.
All right, this number's called Bebopalula. It's by Gene Vincent. I'll have a sing of this one.
Well, Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, don't you, baby. Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, don't you, baby. Bebopalula, she's my baby doll, my baby doll, my baby doll. Well, she's a woman with the red blue jeans. She's a woman that's queen of the teens. She's the only woman that I know. She's a woman that loves me so. Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, don't you, baby. Bebopalula, she's my baby doll, my baby doll, baby doll. She's a woman that's got that beat. She's a woman with the flying feet. She's the only woman that I know. She's a woman that loves me so. Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, don't you, baby. Bebopalula, she's my baby doll, my baby doll, my baby doll. Well now, Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, don't be maybe. Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, don't be maybe. Bebopalula, she's my baby doll, my baby doll, my baby doll.
Now then, we didn't clap that time, Diane.
Thank you.
There you go.
That's fantastic. Yeah, amazing, amazing. Now they've also, you guys, it doesn't end there. That they're doing kind of going round pubs, clubs, and you name it, wowing audiences with these throwback songs to a throwback era, Well, they don't stop there, like I say, because they also write their own material. I mean, how good does it get? Now then, dare I play this next one? Tell us a little bit about it, first of all. The nearest to the mic, tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so Liam is the instigator for this little number. It's called I'll Never Say I Love You. He came up with a rough idea to start writing. He got some lyrics together, things that rhymed, mainly, and yeah,
It helps.
Mainly.
yeah, mainly, yeah. Put a bit of guitar to it, and I had a near enough finished project came to me, and I put some stuff on it, and Phil got involved, and it went from there.
Well, of course, we'll have to see what you out there think about it. Let us know.
Is there a way that I could say to you that I could be any more plain? Would I be alone tonight if I don't get it right? But I won't ever say I love you. Something in the way that I look at you, think that I need any more help. But don't throw your love away, save it for another day, 'cause I won't ever say I love you. Love can be deep inside. I know your love won't hide, no. But don't you ever change, you a sweet romance is all that you want from me. I know that it's not too much to ask, but just 'cause it's not that way, those dreams they are here to stay. But I won't ever say I love you. Love can be deep inside. I know your love won't hide, no. But don't you ever change, you
A little bit of rock and roll, that is self-penned style. That is superb. Well, all I can say is thank you very, very, very much for taking the time to come out and see us here at the Lanky Beat Show on Hospital Radio Wrightington. We hope that you have enjoyed it just as much as we have.
It's been
Thank
great
you.
fun. Thank you for your
Thank you.
hospitality.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Liam.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure, and we're going to see you playing live down at Lanky Cats on Thursday, the 17th of December.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a little Christmas celebration down there.
Lovely jubbly.
Absolutely, fantastic. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Diane.
Anytime I can't tell what's going on because I've no
Thank you,
headphones.
Diane, so much. Thank you, good people out there for listening. If you're on the wards, if you're on the boards, if you're at sea on a boat, or if you're in the air on an aeroplane, well, we hope you've enjoyed listening to us tonight. We're going to play you out with a guy from Bickerstaff near Ormskirk. He records in a big shed, and his name is George. So what's the name of the band?
George's Big Shed.
Bye-bye. See you all soon. Bye-bye.